Has your dynasty gotten boring or you just don't know where to go anymore? If so, I have a few tips for you that'll help you out to enjoy your dynasties way more in the EA Sports College Football 25. The first thing I want to touch on is get custom sliders. You can use Mat 10s or anyone's really. Just look it up and try them out and use them. It'll make your gameplay way better. So these are the sliders I'm running for my Purdue one. I would not copy these because the game is way too easy. The penalty sliders are really important, especially if you're playing longer quarters. It'll make it way more like real life. There'll be a lot more holdings, pass interference, all that stuff. Makes it way more enjoyable. Sometimes it's really annoying though, but either way, try to get some custom sliders. It'll make your gameplay way better. The next tip I would give you guys is to edit your players because it'll make you like them way more and be more connected to them. I do this to every recruit I get, so it's like 20 people every year, but at least everyone has custom gear, and I noticed that there's 3 presets of gear for each archetype. So you end up recruiting a bunch of guys that are same archetype. There's a 1 in 3 chance that they're wearing the same gear, so you have to change it anyways unless you want your whole team to look the same. The next part of that is get to know your players all the way down through your whole depth chart, and then look in your conference and check who's coming up, who their best players are, so you're like more prepared for your next game. Even though it doesn't really matter, it just makes it more interesting if you know what's going on. And then the third tip I would give you is to make your own storylines. Let's say I want to use, for my storylines, I like to make stuff up like someone got in trouble or their GPA went down and then bench them for that game, since there's no built-in system for benching players for that reason. You know what I mean? Like the old games. So yeah, definitely make your own storylines in your head. It makes it way more interesting. My next tip is to make sure you look at the stats and record them, because there's no trophy room. You don't know what you did the last year. I know there's spreadsheets online that has everything like with a drop down, but if you don't have that, you can just write it down, take a picture, put it in a notebook, do whatever you need to do. Just record the stats of your favorite players or anything. It'll make it way more interesting, and you'll have stuff to look back on, since the game doesn't have that for some reason. And then the last thing I would recommend you guys to do, change conferences, put Notre Dame in the Big Ten, move stuff around. You could put Tulane back in the SEC or Georgia Tech, or just stuff like that. It just makes the game way more interesting and changes the parity of like all the teams, because some will go up, some will go down. If you're changing conferences every year, it'll make it way more interesting. But the caveat to that is they won't play rivalry games most of the time, which is the big problem. Like I changed the Big Ten, and Michigan and Ohio State don't play every year. So I don't know, that's up to your discretion. Just do it for a one-off year or something. I don't know. I don't care what you do. It's your offline safe. If any of these tips helped you, let me know in the comments, and in the comments, post any other tips that you have and let us know what's going on with your dynasty. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.